Hi everybody, it's March 17th and this is going to be a review from the market today on ES, which is the S&P 500 E-minis futures. So let's get into it. So this morning we were watching price come down here in the pre-market. So we had 7 o'clock, we had a nice little distribution up here that took price down below these lows. So anybody trading in the pre-market that uses these smart money concepts could have possibly found an entry within here. Obviously not financial advice, but it could have found an entry within here with the smart money breaker concepts that we talk about, targeting down within this gap here and also down below this low. And once we got down within here, I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to get some push up higher. So within my chat, after these bullish candles came in, I was like, okay, maybe we're going to work up higher within here and within up here. But we did start to see SMT divergence with NQ, which made the higher high, but ES made the lower high, and then also YM made the lower high. So we got to keep that in mind that we are seeing this, and we came up to the 1 hour SIBI. So I had this all on my chart, and I had this marked up. So I had my 1 hour up in the top left, I had my 15-minute in the bottom left, and then I had my trading time frame over here on this screen. So I kept that in mind if we were going to see bullish continuation. If we wanted to see that, we had news at 10 o'clock, so I wasn't taking any trades before 10, and I was just waiting and observing. I was also really tired. You can tell from the live stream that I did myself. But anyways, this is what happened. We moved up above these highs at the news, and then when those highs got taken out, basically I was calling it within the video. I was like, okay, we're probably going to see these highs taken out. NQ did the same thing. It was like NQ looked very, very bullish right before the news came out today. We started working up and closing bullish within this fair value gap here. So this bullish closure, I was like, okay, we're going to get some nice movements with the news when it comes out. So it came up, smoked out this high, and smoked out this high up here. So these equal highs. So NQ looked very bullish in the time, and then price shifted down. And after it shifted down, I was like, okay, what do we have? It's like we ask ourselves, what happened? So if this had SMT divergence, if the SIBI was met on the 1 hour, if it does start to reject and close bullish on the 15-minute and the 5-minute, where can we go? I was looking at the 1 hour, okay? The 1 hour had a rejection block right here. So no wick on this candle, so I was like, okay, TP1 could be right here if we do get a short confirmation, which I did. I shorted myself. First partials here, the rest off, well, more off down here, 90% off by the end of this area here at the NWOG over here. So overall, we were working into this 1 hour gap, and it was also a 15-minute gap, and that's where it rejected off of within there. And as you can tell, I'll pull this up on my other screen. This is where I record all my other trades. So entries were within here in the breaker, and it was based off a 1 minute, a 30-second, and 15-second entry. But the overall bias was based on like a 1 hour, 15-minute. You don't really need to go lower, but that's what it was based off of. But you enter here. Well, this is where I entered. Not financial advice again. And entering here, trading down below, and then taking it off at the rejection block that we just showed in the 1 hour. Price trades up, and then to lock in more money, every swing low it does, and it comes into like a key point, like let's say the NWOG or whatever, which is a new week opening gap, comes down within here, we can take more partials off this trade. Then here again, and then price traded down. I was looking for it to hit that gap. It barely missed that gap. I moved my stop loss right up above here, but then it did trade up in, and then it came back down, hit it later, which is completely fine. That's just house money at that point. All right, getting over here to the 1 minute, I was looking for the price to reach down into this rejection block that we just mentioned here on the 1 hour. Price shifts down within here, and then I'm using this as a breaker within this area. So I'm going down to the 30-second and the 15-second to target that breaker, and then based off of price expansions, I'm looking for expansions lower. I'm taking some off the table, and then if it wants to go higher and start reversing, because we did have SMT divergence again with NQ and like YM, and that could have reversed price around if it really wanted to go bullish. So if I take something off the table, I'm pretty happy with that. And then I can just look and then trust myself to take another entry if we were to go bullish again. But it did want to continue lower, and I'm taking partials along the way at these lows. These lows, comes down again. Barely missed the 15 minutes, so it came up and hit out my area, and then it came back down later. But anyways, that's completely fine. But to look at these entries, you go over here to the 15-second. Don't take any of this for financial advice, but if you do anything, test it out like paper money, and then you make your own decision after that. Anyways, bearish here, comes up and retests this breaker block, and boom, just shifts down, and you can tell it just starts respecting all these areas. Comes to rejection block, is where my first partials were, and then targeting down here. But going over to the afternoon session, like what can you see? Like personally, I didn't like anything else, and I was also stepping away after that, so it did what it had to do. And then I went to the bank, I came back from the bank, and then it's like, okay, wow, we have this low was taken here, but on NQ we had a higher low. So once we had that higher low there, this is SMT divergence. Now I'm looking for a break of structure and looking for willingness to go hit buy side. Where's buy side? Market's always trying to rebalance itself, as you can tell from this gap, or it's trying to take liquidity, which is up here. Ideally, I want it up here. So I called my friend. I was like, yo, I'm looking for 3962.5, looking for these equal highs to be taken out. But obviously, price did not want to reach up into there. But you got a shift in market structure. You could have entered within here. That's a possibility. But I like the 315 to 345 time frame. So I started entering and looking for entries within here. So once it started to reject within this area, I was looking at this 1 minute fair value gap there, came up, came right through it, and then boom, I just entered within there, came up, started retesting the end log again, came up, rebalanced this gap. So once it fully rebalanced this gap again for another swing, I was like, okay, moving it to break even, came down, hit the break even, and then I just traded sideways the rest of the day, which is completely fine. I mean, it does stuff like that. But you can see this 2 minute closure was like a sign that I was like, okay, we're ready to start rolling. So it came back down into here. So like maybe I could have done a little bit better, but we can always do better. We always have room for improvement. You know what I mean? So we have our market structure shift here, retesting the fair value gap, shifts up again, those other entries within there. But personally, how I like to trade the breakers and then actually willingness after the gap. So that's what I like. That's what I think the missing piece was to my strategy in the past. But target up to here, wanting to see willingness for it to move higher, but it didn't. But notice how this 5 minute gap closed basically on the bodies of these 5 minute gaps and then just shifted down and was like, okay, we're done. But yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. This is just a recap for today. Take it easy, guys. Love y'all.